Right now at 5, see inside Missouri Southern's construction zones as the campus gets a makeover.
And we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms out to our west this morning. We'll have a look at those and what the rest of our Thursday holds coming up.
Plus, the Miami Public Library features a painter whose talent runs in the family all the way back to Hollywood legends.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, October the 2nd. Of course, yesterday, pretty warm day out there. It's going to be even warmer today. So hopefully you haven't, buried your shorts and short sleeve shirts and things like that, because you're going to need them for a little bit longer than what you might usually need them for. We also have some scattered thunderstorms that have developed this morning. We're going to go over that as well, but we'll start with our live look in downtown Pittsburgh, and it looks pretty good so far. We've actually got clear skies over most of the region, but we do have some thunderstorms off to the west. So we have our camera here at 7th and Range Line in the morning. It's usually pointed this direction, about northwest-ish. Can't see any of the lightning off in the distance. They're pretty far, but sometimes, this dark you can, but we can't because these thunderstorms out there, the cloud tops and all that, they're not very high. They're not very, strong or powerful storms by any means, and so they're not tall enough to see lightning from this distance. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin looking good so far as well. So here's what we've got. We've got, as you can see on this side, 30 lightning strikes with this, so it's not overly impressive, and that's counting all of the ones you see here. But we have this line of storms that's developed just right immediately east of the I-35 corridor out in central Kansas. And watch how quickly it all comes together. Now, it all came together pretty quickly, but it's also expected to die out pretty quickly. Again, it was one of those things, it didn't show up. We showed you yesterday. We didn't see any of these. We saw a few spotty showers south of I-44, but that was it. And this wasn't there. It's still not there. But some good news is National Weather Service offices are kind of keeping an eye on it. They're aware of this. And it looks like what the expectation is it will die out just about as quickly as it formed, but could still make it into some of our far western counties early this morning into the late morning hours before it begins to die out, leaving us with maybe an isolated shower or two. And then after that, it's just going to be smooth sailing with clear skies across the area, dry conditions, and temperatures quite warm. Of course, this morning, we are a bit milder this morning. We do still have some upper 50s out there, but you can see a lot more of those low 60s hanging on with the warm spot, Bentonville, right now at 64 degrees as we get this Thursday underway. So kids heading out the door, at least some of them, especially in our western counties. A couple isolated scattered shower storms out there possible. I think the majority of us, though, will be dry. Low 60s, mid 80s by lunch and recess, upper 80s as they head home. That's where our highs are headed. We'll go 70. And again, some of these shower storms could push a little further west before they die out, but I think, again, most of us will be dry, and then we'll have clear skies beyond that, mid 80s by noon, and our highs today, upper 80s, couple of 90-degree readings, not out of the question. These temperatures will continue for a little while longer. Then we have a cold front coming through next week, should help out just a bit. We'll talk more about that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, put on your hard hats. Construction is underway on the Missouri Southern State University campus as crews work on the new Welcome Center and the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center. KOAM Samantha Walker got a behind-the-scenes look and has more on what the future site will offer.
I'm so excited to be in this space. It's a dream come true for us.
Currently, it may not look like much more than blank walls and empty hallways, but the site of the future, Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center, is creating excitement.
We're really changing the entire way that we do education for these students in healthcare, because now we really have the space and we really have the equipment to support a true flipped classroom, to really immerse those students even more than we do now.
With a price tag of more than $40 million, the Health Science Center will provide students immersive learning opportunities, including a simulated hospital featuring radiology, a NICU, and critical care rooms.
This building isn't just a bunch of spaces for classrooms. It's a real immersive learning environment where all this simulation happens, preparing these students for these real-world activities. You want it to stand the test of time, so all the thoughts and considerations around the materials we used for the building, just ensuring that this building would be here for generations of students to learn the health sciences.
MSSU staff say they believe this is a building that's going to be transformative for students all across the campus for years to come.
already I can't imagine this campus without this building. To see the potential of everything, it's just, it opens every door for every student. But I mean, we won't be able to go back, right? We'll have the ability to do so much advanced learning. We won't ever be able to go back. This will be here forever. It's a legacy.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Missouri Southern plans to have the building completed and ready for students by fall 2026. And fall enrollment is up for a third consecutive year for the Kansas public higher education system. New state figures show enrollment at public universities is up 2.5%. Community college enrollment is up less than 1%, and technical colleges saw a whopping 6.3% increase in headcount and full-time equivalent enrollment. Overall, the number of students is up 2.2% compared to last year. At Pitt State, overall enrollment is up just 0.5% from last year. However, freshman enrollment at PSU continues its 5-year climb, this time with a 10% T-leap. The total enrollment at Pitt State is 5,803 students. The Miami Public Library is a center for the arts in Ottawa County. Now, each month they showcase a different local artist in their display section. KOAM's Ty Parks introduces us to this month's artist, who not only has ties to the Sooner State, but ties to some famous Oklahomans.
Well, God and family inspire me, first and foremost.
Sean Gray is this month's featured artist at the Miami Public Library. Each month, the library picks a local artist to showcase.
So promoting the arts is always a big, it's always something that we really want to do here. So whenever we had the cabinet open up and we weren't doing displays anymore, the first thought that we had in our heads is, let's try to promote local artists. We have so many talented people in the area that don't really have a place to kind of show their art off.
Sean has been painting and drawing since he was a kid. He tells KOM about watching his father paint the Beatles mural on his childhood bedroom wall. Some might say being an artist runs in his veins, along with some famous family members.
Well, my dad's a genealogist, but from what I gather, genealogy is first cousin once removed, I think is what they call it, from my mother's side of the family. And Will Rogers from my father's side, and from his mother's mother, who were Crosslands, part of the Ross family. They grew up in Sequoyah County.
His work is on display in the entryway, and he hopes everyone stops and takes a look.
These hobbies can serve as an inspiration to others, something beneficial, something constructive, something that might unite people, maybe even bring joy and contemplation.
In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Sean's son and daughter have some of their own work displayed there as well. They are also showcased at the Child Advocacy Group in Miami. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers will be furloughed, with some government services disrupted as a partial shutdown takes effect. I'm Erica Brown with more on the funding fight.
And still ahead, earbud hygiene, how to keep them clean without damaging them. And we have clear skies and warm conditions. Chris takes another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:08. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, Democrats and Republicans are blaming each other for the government shutdown that began yesterday, stopping paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal workers. Erica Brown has more from the White House.
In the wake of a partial government shutdown, some government offices went dark, with thousands of federal workers told to stay home, and the blame game is in full swing.
The Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government.
With Congress failing to pass a short-term funding bill, about 750,000 federal workers are expected to be furloughed. The Trump administration is also threatening mass firings as some government offices are shuttered. Republicans want to extend funding at current levels, but Democrats are holding out for concessions on health care, including extensions of Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversals of cuts to Medicaid.
They're boycotting negotiations because they want premiums to go up on people in this country. They don't want to be held accountable.
I just say to my Democrat colleagues who want to work on this, fantastic, that's great. Let's not hold hostage all of these innocent Americans.
Government workers deemed essential, like air traffic controllers, TSA, and military personnel, will stay on the job but are required to work without pay.
A lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
With thousands out of work nationwide, the pain could be widespread and cost the U.S. economy hundreds of millions of dollars a day.
It could cause a little bit of a dent in the economy, but I don't think that's the issue. I actually think it's a much more personal issue that these people are going to struggle, and the people that where they shop are going to struggle.
This is the first government shutdown in nearly 7 years, with little sign of any breakthroughs. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Hours after the shutdown, the Trump administration put on hold $18 billion in funding for New York City rail projects. The White House budget director said it was because the projects were based on unconstitutional diversity, equity, and inclusion principles. It's still to come. Matthew McConaughey plays a hero bus driver in The Lost Bus, based on California's deadly campfire. Plus, warm and sunny conditions. Chris returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. Oops. Hollywood's favorite Texan is ditching the rom-coms for a personal poetry, and a beloved TV family is getting a reunion. Gwen Baumgardner has your Eye on Entertainment reports.
Matthew McConaughey is back, wheeling in a new movie as bus driver turned hero Kevin McKay.
This is our bus driver, Kevin.
The Lost Bus is based on a true story following the race to save 22 school kids during California's deadly campfire of 2018. This week, McConaughey spoke with Gayle King about the film while also reciting lines of poetry from his new book titled Poems and Prayers.
A good man stands for certain ideals, and when those beliefs are contested, a good man is not a nice guy.
His book is available now. Movie The Lost Bus can be streamed on Apple Plus beginning tomorrow. No yellow submarine for Paul McCartney. Instead, his current transportation mode is a tour bus. The 83-year-old former Beatle, with no signs of slowing down, kicking off his 20-stop North American tour. Titled The Got Back Tour, McCartney is incorporating music from both his solo and band albums. He heads to Vegas this Saturday.
It's like the perfect, what's the word?
Temperature.
No.
The lovable yet at times dysfunctional Romano family is getting a reunion. CBS announcing an anniversary celebration of the hit comedy 30 years after it first premiered. It will feature candid conversations from the cast, including Ray Romano, Brad Garrett, and Patricia Heaton, and include a special tribute to the late actors who portrayed Marie and Frank Barone.
Active listening.
Ray, that doesn't work.
You can listen and watch the Everybody Loves Raymond reunion November 24th, airing on CBS and Paramount Plus. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
We're doing pretty good out there this morning. Most of us with mostly clear skies, yes. However, we do have some scattered showers and storms out west. We'll break down the details on those storms and the rest of our Thursday when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:18. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:21 on the dot, and this is the Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us some scattered showers and thunderstorms. It's a pretty decent little line here, stretching through a good portion of central Kansas. It's just to the east of the I-35 corridor. It does go back down into the Oklahoma area as well, but we recenter this-ish right here, and this is telling us that there are 24 lightning strikes with all this, so not overly impressive thunderstorms, but some rain out there. Now again, it didn't show up on anything we showed you yesterday. It's actually not showing up in anything this morning. However, what we've got is a weak wave that actually set these storms off, and you can watch how quickly they fire up. Like I said, they're not strong, they're not severe, nor is that even going to be a thing, but they went up pretty quick. But as quickly as they've gone up, we had upwards of 40 some odd lightning strikes in the beginning, not so much now. They're already starting to wind down, but they could push in to some of our far western counties here before they eventually begin to die out by mid to late morning across the area, leaving us just a couple of isolated showers. So maybe as far east as say Chanute down toward Coffeyville and into Nowata, I think is where these could make it. Now, again, because they aren't showing up on any model data this morning. They could last a little longer, but it's not looking likely. And in all honesty, again, by noon, you can see the remnants are just a couple of sprinkles out there. So we'll see how it plays out exactly, but I wouldn't expect widespread rainfall. Goodness, English is a tough language sometimes. Widespread rainfall, not very likely, but we'll monitor it for you as we go through the day. Otherwise, we're looking at clear skies, which is what most of us already have this morning. As we go through today, tonight, into tomorrow, we will hold on to clear skies. We'll have those south winds out there, and our temperatures just continue to remain above average. We go into our Saturday, and it is basically the same thing, but maybe a couple of degrees cooler as we've got clear skies. I mean, the future track, the time is moving. It just doesn't look like there's much because there's just nothing there. It's working. It's just it's got nothing to show you this morning. So that's what we're watching there, is the warm weather. So gone ahead and thrown up some isolated storm chances through the morning, again in our far western counties. Otherwise, we should be mostly clear, if not clear out ahead of that line. We'll be mid-60s to start. I told you these temperatures start changing. We'll go low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning as our highs climb into the upper 80s today. South wind 5 to 10. And we're also at that point now over the next 2 or 3 days where a couple of 90-degree readings, especially in our southern counties, not out of the question. So maybe not quite to record levels, but boy, it is certainly going to be hot for October. Clear skies continue through the evening. We're in the low 70s by 10, mid to upper 60s overnight tonight with those southeast winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Over the next several days, again, this really sticks around. So we've, again, thrown on the isolated storm chances for this morning in parts of southeast Kansas. Otherwise, sunny skies through the weekend. As the temperatures still fall back a bit. We have a weak cold front coming through this weekend. That's what brings us back down to about 80. And then we've got that next system that still has at least some rain chances. And while our temperatures don't fall to normal by the second half of next week, they are going to be considerably better next week than where they are this week. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, one Tennessee teacher knows the importance of education from an early age and hopes to instill a love of learning in her students. Now, this may look like a hospital, but it's not. It's Miss Ellis's first grade classroom near Chattanooga, Tennessee. Her students are learning about their bodies and the medical field. She says it's important to do hands-on learning and make things look real. Local healthcare professionals have gotten in on the act as well. Doctors, nurses, and EMS workers have volunteered their time to help in the class. And your 30s may be the most important time in your life when it comes to cardiovascular health. A study in Korea found people who had better cardiovascular health in their 30s had a more than 30% lower risk for heart attack, strokes, and kidney disease later in life. Researchers say people need to start monitoring their heart health at a younger age. And new research shows education may be an effective way to prevent dementia. A study in Finland looked at twins and found those with 12 or more years of education were less likely to have dementia than those with only 6 years of education. Education led to better performance on cognitive tests and better word recall. The benefits even lasted after the age of 90. Well, it's common nowadays to wear something in or over your ears to listen to music, a podcast, or talk on the phone. Now, some people use them for hours on end every single day. So how do you clean your earbuds and headphones? Well, Jeff Wagner explains why good hygiene is a sound idea.
What type of buds do you have?
I have AirPods.
I believe these are the AirPod 4s from Apple.
There's no school uniform for students at the University of Minnesota, but glance across the campus and you might think earbuds and headphones are required.
How often do you wear them?
Pretty much whenever I'm walking to class by myself or at the gym.
All the time, not gonna lie.
How often do you clean them?
Probably not as often as I should.
They sit in a case, then in your ear. We wear them when working out and working up a sweat. Repetitive actions for hours, days, weeks.
So all of us have, skin oils, skin cells that shed off, bacteria that just accumulate, particularly when we're putting things in our ears and creating a really nice, wet, moist, dark environment that bacteria thrives in.
Over-the-ear headphones aren't exempt from dirt either.
Like our pillow, it just kind of sucks up bacteria and debris. We want to protect from getting any kind of ear infections. It can be as extreme as, potentially fungal infections.
How should we clean them?
Most of them are going to come with cleaning instructions. So look at your manuals.
But if you toss that out, experts say to use cotton swabs or a toothbrush to reach tight spots. If the buds have removable tips, take them off and wash them. For headphone pads, gently wipe them with a soapy cloth. Antibacterial wipes and a microfiber cloth can help as well.
How often should we clean them?
I think a general rule of thumb is once a week.
A frequency that should increase if you wear them when exercising. Jeff Wagner, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And don't forget to clean the earbud charging case regularly. Wax, dirt, and bacteria tend to build up in there as well. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a solar company email sparks controversy at last night's Cherokee County Commission meeting.
And we've got a few scattered showers and thunderstorms starting to push closer to our western counties. Talk about what those are going to do and how the rest of our Thursday is shaping up here in just a few minutes.
Plus, a municipal building in Joplin temporarily closes its doors to the public. We'll explain why.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, October the 2nd. Happy Thursday. One more day until Friday, which means the weekend's around the corner. It's a nice summer weekend we have, unfortunately, on tap for us, but that is what it is. We also have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there this morning, which we will show you in just a moment. But first, we start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and it is looking pretty good. Again, most of us have clear skies. We've got that line, though, that's out to our west, which we'll show you. Our camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin, looks good as well. And we'll head down south to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, where it's also looking pretty good. They've got it. They changed the zoom. They zoomed it out just enough where the traffic signal is like right there. Boy, they're bright. I mean, I know you folks, if you ever drive when it's dark, those traffic lights, those LED lights, man, they are super bright. But it's like the sun's rising from the corner of the screen down there. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got 28 lightning strikes with these storms. At their peak, when they first got going, we had upwards of about 40. And you can see it's not an incredible line. It's not strong. It's not severe, nor is it going to be. But you can see there is embedded lightning. So these are thunderstorms, and it stretches from just northeast of Salina back down into north central Oklahoma. It developed pretty quickly this morning. You can watch how fast that happened. Started developing at about 4 o'clock, 4:15. And so it's not on any of our model data. It wasn't on any of it yesterday. But there's a weak wave passing through. That's kind of what's triggered these storms. But because that wave is weak, while it looks like this line of storms could survive pretty far, the odds are it's not going to. It's going to run into drier air across the area. So it could make it, again, as far east as, say, Chanute, Coffeyville, and the water. We're going to draw the line right here. It could survive that far as we go through the morning, but again, it's not looking likely, and honestly, most of us should remain dry. Future track is showing maybe a couple of remnant sprinkles by noon, so we'll see how it plays out because it isn't on the computer data, and Mother Nature sometimes likes to throw us a curveball, but we're not expecting anything severe. Even if it survives a wee bit longer, it'll just be some much needed rain across parts of the area. Otherwise, we've got sunny skies out there. Our temperatures this morning still have some upper 50s, but you see there's a lot more low 60s out there. Bentonville, still the warm spot, now sitting at 65 as we get this day underway. Kids heading out the door, again, our western counties, far western counties, maybe an isolated storm or two. Otherwise, low 60s, clear skies, mid 80s by lunch and recess, 88 when the kids head home. We're going to go 70 by 9. Mid 80s by noon. Our highs today, upper 80s and a couple of low 90s down in our southern counties. Not out of the question, and it won't be out of the question again tomorrow either. We're going to talk about how much longer this heat lasts, about a cold front this weekend, and some rain chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a car crashed into the dining room of a Missouri McDonald's Tuesday. First responders say 3 teenagers who were inside of the fast food restaurant and the driver of the car were brought to the hospital with non-threatening injuries. The McDonald's is located in the central West End neighborhood of St. Louis. Witnesses say the driver crossed all 4 lanes of Lindell Boulevard. The driver then drove straight into the dining room of the McDonald's. Photos released by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department show the car inside the restaurant with debris from the wall it crashed through scattered across the dining room. The McDonald's is closed for repairs and the investigation is ongoing. Well, an email creating concerns over zoning and landowner rights prompts heavy attendance at last night's Cherokee County Commission meeting. Tensions rose over a proposed 255 megawatt Rainbow Springs solar project. In July, we told you about a Wichita State University study showing the project could generate $532 million in economic growth and $38 million in new government revenue. The company offered $5 million to the county over 10 years and promised to repair local roads, but many residents remain opposed. And the Joplin Public Safety and Justice Center in Joplin will temporarily close its public entrances this week, starting at 3 p.m. Today, entrances to the police and fire departments along with municipal court will be shut down for construction. Crews will be working on the sidewalks and public entryways. The building is scheduled to reopen next Monday at 8 a.m. City officials say the work of these departments will continue as normal, but residents are asked to handle business by phone during the closure. And decades of benzene contamination from a former Miami tire plant prompts a public meeting October 14th. Michelin North America will host the session at the Bruce G. Carter Student Union to discuss contamination from the former B.F. Goodrich facility. The plant used and stored benzene during its production years from 1944 to 1986, contaminating groundwater. Michelin launched cleanup efforts in 2022. And at the meeting on October 14th, company and state environmental officials will answer community questions. And the K-State Research and Extension Program Southwind District kicked off its 7-part series on small-scale farming at Fort Scott Community College yesterday. KOAM's Kenny Foreman takes us there.
Just under 40 people were in attendance at Fort Scott Community College to hear K-State Southwind District Horticulture Agent Krista Harding give a presentation on gardening.
I think it's self-satisfying too to be able to produce your own food for your family's consumption, and there's definitely kind of a steep learning curve to being successful to that, and so tonight we hope to give the people the tools that they need.
Since not all attendees are experienced gardeners, she hopes to clear up any misconceptions.
It definitely takes some labor to do it. You can't just plant a vegetable and walk off and leave it and expect it to produce. You do have to put some time and effort into it.
To Harding, the first step in gardening is actually pretty simple.
They just need to get started. I think anybody can be successful in growing their own food. You just have to start somewhere, whether that's in a traditional garden setting or maybe even just venturing over and planting a few vegetables like a tomato in a container.
She's hopeful those interested will reach out to the Southwind District in the future.
If they have trouble with pests, insect pests, disease pressure, whatever the case might be, we can actually help them identify those pests and give solutions to help try to solve their problems.
The next session, Pests, Predators, and Protection, will be held right here at Fort Scott Community College next Wednesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. Reporting in Fort Scott, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Harding says all are welcome to any of the sessions and you're not required to attend them all. McDonald County High School students brought the classroom to the barn yesterday morning, kicking off Ag Day for elementary students. Second graders from across the district were invited to the McDonald County Fairgrounds to explore farm life through hands-on experience that included plant science exploration and a look at modern farm equipment. And let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. From garage sales to glamour, why secondhand shopping is the hottest trend in fashion. Plus, private U.S. companies cut 32,000 jobs last month. We'll have the latest. Time now, 5:39. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, in Consumer Watch, ADP's latest national employment report shows that payrolls at private U.S. companies fell by 32,000 jobs last month. Now, that's the biggest decline since March of 2023. Now, according to finance company Capital Economics, the report comes days before the Labor Department is due to issue its latest jobs report, though it's uncertain if the federal government shutdown will delay that release. Elon Musk is now the first billionaire to reach $500 billion in net worth. That's according to Forbes' real-time billionaire tracker. The Tesla CEO hit the milestone around 3:30 p.m. Eastern yesterday after shares for the EV company climbed nearly 4%. And just in time for Halloween, Hellmann's, best known for its mayonnaise, of course, is teaming up with author Jennifer L. Armentrout on a book meant to ward off vampires. Special edition copies of the writer's new book, The Primal of Blood and Bone, are infused with garlic-scented ink inspired by Hellmann's garlic aioli. Well, it's not your grandma's thrift store anymore. Secondhand shopping is seeing a surge in popularity, expected to grow into a $79 billion business in the U.S. by 2029. Jared Hill shows us what's driving the trend.
It's the thrill of the hunt at the Reshop in New York, where secondhand shoppers can select from vintage, trade, and even upcycled fashion.
You might find exactly what you're looking for, and you might find something that you're not looking for, but you still might end up liking it.
Radiance Clinton is among the growing number of younger Americans who by 2029 are expected to account for more than 2/3 of extra spending on secondhand apparel.
People are wearing secondhand clothes to the Oscars. People are wearing secondhand clothes to the Met Gala. And so it has become mainstream in ways that I didn't even anticipate, when we started the business. James Reinhart is co-founder and CEO of ThredUp, an online consignment and thrift store. ThredUp's 2025 resale report found 58% of consumers shopped secondhand apparel in 2024, an all-time high. Reinhart says the threat of increasing tariffs could provide a tailwind. Everyone, I think, is looking for a great deal, I think now more than ever.
In addition to saving money and reducing waste, for a lot of shoppers, it's also about filling their closets with one-of-a-kind finds.
Katie Bergman of Colorado has made it her business, updating clients' wardrobes as a thrift personal shopper. She has her strategy timed out.
People will clean out their closets and things over the weekend, and so you will get lots of great things that people have cleaned out, and they're usually put on the racks earlier in the week. Tuesday, Wednesday is usually going to be your best days.
If you have sewing skills or are willing to get things tailored, choose larger sizes. They're easier to alter.
I found a skirt that can tie up, so it could be very, very long, or like midi, or like however short, however long you want it to.
And shoppers say no matter what, there's always the element of fun. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Now, another driver for increased secondhand apparel and accessories, the pressure of social media for users to have unique looks and fresh finds. That's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
See, this is that thing, they're looking for new looks and fresh finds. Well, thrift stores are those hand-me-down things, though. So it's not new. It's not necessarily fresh. We're going to end up going back to powdered wigs and looking like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, just so we can be fresh and new. For an interesting world we could be in. We have got some scattered storms out there this morning. Not much expected from them, and they won't last very long. We'll talk about where those are, where they're going, and how the rest of our Thursday and the upcoming weekend is shaping up. When the KOAM Morning News returns, time now is 5:45. We'll be right back.
How will the government shutdown impact those in the ag community? We have the answer in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. The government shutdown impacting several programs important to farmers and ranchers, including several payment programs such as the Conservation Reserve Program, Agriculture Risk Coverage, Price Loss Coverage, along with some disaster programs are all suspended. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins saying on X that animal and crop research is also halted. Food safety research has stopped, along with trade negotiations. Meanwhile, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for low-income people is supported through the end of the month. Seed and crop protection giant Corteva says it's splitting up into two companies. One will handle its crop protection business. It will be known as New Corteva. The other will be called Spinco, and it will handle the seed business, including the well-known Pioneer brand. The deal is expected to be completed in the second half of next year. And we have a winner in the wildly popular Fat Bear Week contest. Chunk, a brown bear with a broken jaw, notched up his first win. The annual competition allows people to vote online, choosing among 12 bears in Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. One organizer of the event says despite his broken jaw, Chunk remains one of the biggest, baddest bears at Brooks River. Chunk's weight is estimated at 1,200 pounds. The contest attracted more than 1.5 million votes. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris for a full look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a few scattered showers and thunderstorms still out just to the west of our area. But here's the deal. Look at our lightning strike count now. And that's counting all the strikes that are from here down through this whole line. It's down to 14. Now, when these storms first got going, they peaked at about 38 to 40 strikes. We were near 24, 25 about 15 minutes ago. Now we're down to 14, 16. So that's that indication they're already in a dying state. They flared up very quickly. They're expected to die out very quickly. Now, as I mentioned, though, they didn't show up on any of our forecast model data from yesterday or this morning. And so they're being formed by a weak wave that's passing through. So since they weren't expected, could they do the unexpected? Absolutely. They are already unexpected, but there's at least a reason they're there. There's a wave passing through. It's fired up these storms. They could make it maybe as far east as, say, Chanute down to Coffeyville in the water. So we're going to draw this line right about here. They could survive maybe that long. We'll see exactly how it pans out. The good news is, regardless, nothing strong, nothing severe. Like I said, they're already starting to wind back down and turn more into heavy rain. They could recycle a bit, but they're going to run into drier air the further east they go. And so that's why at this point, we're not expecting really anything east of that line we just drew. So again, just on this map, it's right through here. Follow the county lines right through into Newata County, and points east should be fine, should be dry. Out to the west, maybe a few sprinkles. Future track is trying to pick up, but by noon you can see all it shows is just a couple of light showers. So again, we'll see how it plays out, but otherwise the majority of us are looking at clear skies and temperatures once again well above normal. As we head through the day, we'll have clear skies overnight tonight and into tomorrow as well. It'll continue to be warm. South winds out there. There could be a passing cloud or two, but I think for the most part, we're looking at abundant sunshine. As we head into Saturday, same thing. In fact, on Saturday, there's almost nothing that shows up on the future track except the wind arrows, so it's hard to tell it's actually really doing anything. But I'm pressing the button. That time is changing. It's just we're in a really dry, calm pattern right now, but that will begin to change as we head through the weekend and into next week. First, let's get through this morning. So we've got ahead, throwing up some isolated storm chances out there. I think the majority of us will still be dry, but we'll keep an eye on that line. Like I said, we're not keeping an eye on it because it's going to turn into this significant event. We'll just keep an eye on how far east some of these showers and storms could make it. We need rain. I'm not opposed to this line surviving all the way through the area. It just doesn't look very likely at this point. Go mid-60s to start, low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. And again, based on how that line behaves, we are looking at clear skies out there, temperatures climbing upper 80s, a couple of 90-degree readings in our southern counties, absolutely not out of the question. We're going to be close to record highs. We may not break any records, but it's still going to be really hot for October anyway. Clear, mild through the evening, low 70s by 10, mid-60s and upper 60s overnight tonight. Our heat continues tomorrow. Now, here's what happens. We head into the weekend. By Sunday, a weak cold front passes through. Now, at this point for us, it's not expected to do much, but it does bring the temperatures back down a bit. All right, at least we're closer to normal. We're not at, but we're closer. And then we have that second system that pushes through next week. These rain chances are still very low. Very, very low. We need them to be greater. But you can see our temperatures still above average. Average highs low to mid 70s, average low to mid 50s. So we're still above normal, at least with our highs, but we're considerably closer to normal as we head through next week with, again, some of those isolated storm chances. So at least we'll get a little taste of fall before too much longer. That's a check of your forecast. We have got more of the KOAM Morning News right after we do some business with you.
Well, a stunning aurora lit up the night sky over Duck Mountain Provincial Park in Manitoba, Canada. Jeremy Rand captured video of vibrant green lights dancing across the sky late Monday night. The mesmerizing display wowed locals, and Sky Gazers, a real-time glimpse of nature's northern lights in action.
Yeah, northern lights are absolutely beautiful. Our middle child, Colt, he was asking if I've ever seen the northern lights, and I'm like, no, I've never personally seen them, but we've seen photos, we've seen videos, we know they're pretty cool. He was asking where to go to see them. I'm like, well, you got to go pretty far north in most cases to see them, but they are, I'm sure, a stunning sight to see in person. It's one thing, again, to see photos or videos of them, but to actually see that in the sky above you has got to be amazing. What we will see in the sky above us today is something we're pretty used to, the sun. Now, we do have those thunderstorms out west. We'll see exactly what they do, but right now, most of us should be dry through the day, but we could get some isolated storms in our western counties through the morning. We'll go mid-60s to start, low 80s by 11. Like I said, that line of storms didn't show up on data. It's being produced by a weak wave that's passing through, so the expectation right now is that they should die out through the morning hours, and they won't make it very far east. But again, Mother Nature likes to pull her punches sometimes. We'll see what happens with that line. Otherwise, clear skies, very warm, upper 80s again, couple of 90-degree readings, not out of the question. Clear and mild through the evening, again, low 70s by 10, mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. The warm weather continues into the weekend, more upper 80s tomorrow, mid 80s head to the weekend. We have a cold front that passes near us on Sunday. Doesn't do much in terms of rain, but does kick our temperatures down a wee bit. And then we've got those isolated storm chances next week with temperatures still above normal, but much better than where they are right now. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.